am kind of unfamiliar with this type of position, but you mentioned Mickey
Hello,
Adams,
hello,
and I
hello.
know him
Welcome
as the
everyone.
French killer.
This is
Don't play the French
the
defense against
Armageddon,
England's
and
number
we
one
have
grandmaster.
Wesley So
It's hard to get anything
currently
against him, but
playing
this is all pretty
against
standard stuff at the moment. Black's
Terry
retreating his
Renato.
queen. White
A very, very important game from the event that's going on. And right now, Wesley So with the white pieces has faced the French defense. Terry captures the pawn on c5 with his knight. And he takes back, bishop takes, and plays his pawn up to a4. Terry has already shown that he is an extremely strong player, and it will be important to see how well he does against Wesley So, because Wesley is a world-class GM. And he's played his pawn up to b6, defending it. The black king is still in the center of the board. Let's also check out what is happening. So b6, and we will soon have our board here. Yeah, there you have it. So b6 has been played. Now white is clearly better. Wesley moves his queen up to d2. That's an important move. And now later he can put his bishop on d4 and have this very strong pawn. Castling is very dangerous, and that's the reason why he first tries to exchange these bishops. Wesley says, no, I will not trade it, and goes back here to c2. And he plays his rook to c8. You can see that Terry Renato is not going to castle very soon. What did Wesley do? Oh, he pushed his pawn to h4. Wow. The queen comes to e7, maybe keeping an eye on this pawn. Yeah. So queen e7, he did play h5, and then rook d8, rook d1 has been played. And now queen to c7. So Wesley has to find a way to break through. He has 1 minute 35 seconds. That's the beauty of this format. You have very little time. Very little time. And Wesley has to figure out. He goes bishop b1, queen e7. Very smart play by Terry. He is not spending even a minute. And now the bishop moves to c4, queen c1, bishop c4. Maybe the bishop wants to enter on b3. What does Wesley So do? He goes queen c2, and he says if you castle, it's a mate in one. But of course he won't castle. He has got his plan sorted. He's just going to move back and forth there. Queen c7. Very difficult to make progress. What did he do? Bishop f4, queen e7. And you can see Terry has 46 seconds. Wesley has come down to a minute and 5 seconds. What did he do? b3, bishop goes back to a6, knight to d4. Now some progress being made here. Wesley so very calm, and also he might want to switch his rook over from e3 to g3. That could be an idea. (153) Wesley's heart rate, crazy. And what did he play? He went rook c8. Yeah. And now Wesley so has to decide. A very good move is knight b5 with the idea of jumping into d6. Can Wesley so find it? Yes, he does. He is amazing. He has 37 seconds, 16 seconds for Terry Renato. What does he do? He takes the knight. Wesley captures it. Now the knight has to move. Where does the knight go? This is getting intense. Knight goes back to b8. And Wesley improves his queen. Knight to d7. And queen g3. That is what was needed. Now this is attack. If you go, he goes king f8. Defending it. But now slowly. Rook comes up. Is he going to play his rook? Which rook? Yes, rook d3. Wow. What a systematic attack. Rook c7 with just 1 second left. Rook d1. Rook goes to b7 and he pushes c4. Great play, d4. Push the pawn. And now maybe just rook takes d4. He can sacrifice an exchange. Rook b8. It's time to sacrifice. Will Wesley so manage to find the courage to sacrifice? Not really. He goes queen g3. Rook to d8. And the bishop goes to c1. What is his plan? Maybe he wants to go to b2 and pick up this pawn. King g8. Bishop b2. Great play by Wesley. Queen g5. You can take and take. Take on d4. Yeah, he takes there. Takes there. Bishop d4. Rook f8. Bishop goes back to c3. Knight to b8. Wesley is completely winning. He's completely winning. g6 played. Wesley has 15 seconds. He needs to move quickly. Because if he comes down to really low time, it will be difficult. He goes rook d8. King g7, good move. Played by Terry. Maybe he's coming back. Rook takes f8. Rook takes f8. hg. fg. Rook d2. He's brought his rook up. What an intense game. Rook f4. Terry Renato not giving up. King f1. He's maybe coming back into the game. Rook f7 goes back to... Why did he have to go back? Bishop b4. Knight d7. f3 played. And bishop b4. He had very little time. He just... let that bishop slip. Oh, and now the knight has a nice square there. Takes the pawn on b3. But Wesley takes it on b6. He has very strong pawns. And Terry Renato goes rook a7. Rook a6. Good move. Not giving him the a file. Now the b pawn is running down. It seems like Wesley so has got this. b7 coming up. King f8. b7. And it's time to resign. b8 coming. What a game. What a game by Wesley So. That's why he's one of the best players in the world. What a fantastic... He never let his advantage slip. Let's go back to our commentators in Berlin to see what they have to say from the venue. That was a brilliant, intense game. Very intense.
Situation, he just needs to draw his game with the black pieces and he will go through to the next stage in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, so all the pressure is on Renato now to try to come back from that game. It looked like he got a slightly dodgy start to the game. It wasn't a major advantage for Wesley, but Wesley is such a class player that if he gets that pressure, he can just keep pressurizing you. Little prod there, little prod there, little prod there. And he kept prodding away until he found a way into Black's position. And this was still the opening stage. And Wesley playing a very safe move there, just making sure he has some space advantage on that area of the board called the queen side.
Yeah, look at him. Look how Wesley just puts his pieces on the best squares, and Renato just could not recover from that at all. It felt like he was chanceless.
I don't think he got any chances through the game, and here it is really, really tough because he's moving instantaneous, and this was a really clever idea from Wesley. He's made Black push that pawn into the middle, but that pawn is now a target that Wesley went to move his bishop around and capture and round up, basically going a pawn up. And then the rook came in. This open line, brilliant for Wesley's rooks, because those pieces there, the rooks, they work on open lines, and it was a very tough position, this for Black, for Renato here.
Ooh, thrilling start though to the day.
Yeah, thrilling start, and we see the final stages of the game here. Both sides now really have to try to get their pawns to the other end of the board. Wesley there using his pawn first, and with the time advantage, there was nothing that Black could do. That pawn was about to become a queen there, and it's quite handy having a queen, you know, an extra queen in chess. That's part of the game, isn't it?
Always a good idea if you can manage that. But we are now 50 seconds away from game 2. Renato Terry playing with the white pieces. He is in a must-win situation. Now the players don't have so much time to recover. They have like seconds to get rid of the adrenaline that's pumping through their veins, and they have to reset. They have to take those deep breaths and get ready for what needs to be done. Do you think Renato can do it?
No. Well, he can do it, but I think Wesley is just so experienced and so good. You know, he's one of the best players in the world. He really is one of the elites of the elites. I mean, it's possible, but we're going to have to see something very, very special from Renato here for that to happen. They're about to start. 6 seconds. You can see Renato shaking his head. He does have the white pieces, so that is something which will at least allow him to dictate how he can put pressure on.
Okay, off we go. And Terry Renato has played his pawn up to a3. My God, what audacity against Wesley. So he's put his pawn to a3, and then d5, knight comes out to f3, knight to f6 played. Amazing. e3 played, and now bishop to f5. Maybe just Wesley puts his bishop out there. Yes, he does. Bishop f5 played. Later on, he can put his pawn on e6 as well. Pawn to b4. Pawn to b4, e6 played. And now Terry Renato brings his bishop to b2, knight to d7. Well, let's see if Terry can beat Wesley, because that is going to be very tough. Wesley is such a class act, and he's such a strong player. But you can sense the tension in the air. He goes pawn to c4. Wesley very solid with his pawn to c6. And now bishop comes up to e2. We have h6, and now short castles. Sudipta says, I don't think he can beat Wesley. So, well, let's see, Sudipta. In Armageddon, anything can happen. Absolutely. Mukul Manghani, please stop doing this, and you know, say something else, say something different as well. d4 played in the center. Oh, I can put myself on the screen here. That's important. Castles, and now knight to d2. I like how white has played this opening. Very calmly developed all his pieces. Has kept the pawns in the center. And he goes queen e7, c5, bishop goes back. Now Wesley is all ready to push his pawn to e5. and black would have a very nice position. I think a4 b5 is one possibility. Of course, Terry knows that he has a very tall ask ahead of him to beat Wesley, but well, it's possible. b5 played, and actually Wesley now plays a brilliant decision. He takes, if I was playing as black, I would have played e5, but after de, knight e5, knight e5, bishop e5, bishop e5, queen e5, knight f3, followed by taking here and knight d4. It reminds us of the game of Prag versus Caruana from Tata Steel, and would be slightly better for white. So he decides to push his pawn to b5 and Wesley takes it. Great understanding, bishop b5. And now rook f to c8. Need to get this good at chess as Wesley. So a6 played. The bishop comes back, hops back to e2. What should black do now? Can go bishop a5, can play b6 as well. I think b6 is a very interesting move. Just break there. He goes bishop a5. Rook c1 played by Terry, and now goes b6. Now I think c6 is a tempting move, but Wesley has got it covered with knight b8. So the important idea is to take here. That is an important move. So he takes, good move. And now maybe bishop c3, just popping the bishop out on c3 and then keeping an eye on the b6 knight. And he did play, wow, he did play bishop c3. Good move, good move. Arya Singh, I think it's fine to use ChessBase to improve your openings. You can see the games of the players in that line in ChessBase. That would be very useful for you. There are already, I think, very good videos that I have created, by the way. Rook c3, but I will work more on it. Rook c b8 played. Now the queen must move. Queen b4 played, yes. And he takes ab, opening up the queen, putting pressure on a6. Knight d7. He has attacked here. Now he mustn't take here, because that will just reduce the tension in the position. But rook a4, just defend this pawn. Terry, you have 24 seconds. Go for it. Rook a4, rook a4. Yes, good move, good move. White is better for sure, because now the rook is planning to enter here, also can enter here and chop this pawn. He goes bishop g4, but now rook c6. This is serious advantage. No, he plays h3, bishop takes. You can take with the knight, but you can also take with the pawn, controlling the e4 square. Maybe, why is he thinking? You don't have so much time. Pawn takes, good move, good decision. Pawn takes. Clearly better for white. Wesley has 27 seconds. He needs to wriggle out of this. I think Wesley will find knight e8, maybe putting his knight from d6. No, he goes knight to b6. But now rook a5. Oh, he took the pawn. Okay. Rook takes and bishop takes has happened. White is a pawn up. And now he plays his king to f8. Maybe knight b3, knight c5. No, he goes king f1, knight e8. Bishop d3. Oh, he had just 2 seconds. King e7. Wesley playing calmly. Rook a3. Good move. Gets the rook on the open file. This is not going to be easy to win. Wesley plays knight d7, and now can the rook move? Rook a4 played. If the knight can go knight b6, check, knight d7, rook a4. They've repeated several times. Knight d7, he's put his rook back. Now the knight comes up. This is a bit too passive. Knight b6, rook a2, knight c4, and I think Wesley is now losing king f8. He could have taken, by the way, here on c4, take, and he would have been better, but he goes here, bishop takes, pawn takes, and he's got his knight here, rook a4, knight b5, king e1, knight jumps into c3, rook a3, still keeping control, knight b5, rook a2, crazy chess, knight d6, rook a4, keeping that pawn. That rook is just so good. He's defending a4 all the time. Rook b5, and now knight e4. Oh my god, Terry Renato might win this. Rook h5. Well, you don't really care about your h pawn, because the b pawn is where all the money is. King e7, check, king e8. He has very little time to convert this. Rook takes h3. Have to push the pawn, maybe b5. But it's not going to be enough. The rook will come from behind. b5 played. Oh, Wesley takes on f3. What a slow motion move. b6, pawn push. Rook f5, great move. Rook c7, check. King b8. Goes king d8. Rook c6, king d7, check. He plays his knight. Rook to b5. Things are under control now. Wesley, what a defender he is. Rook c5, rook b4, and now it's actually black who is maybe pushing. He doesn't have time. Oh, loses on time. Wesley so wins it. Ooh, very close, very close, very close. What a game. Enjoyable. They shake hands. Wesley wins 2-0. Let's go back to our commentators in Berlin and hear what they have to say.
I like cooking with a bit of time as well. So a lot of time being used today. It is Armageddon after all, but very good play from Wesley. It was looking quite tense there at the end. It kind of felt that Renato actually had some chances with that pawn rushing up the board, but the black king just came over to stop it. Do you like cooking with a bit of time?
Yeah, and I like it when time goes by. And there we see the opening move from Renato. What a surprise. What style. Opening up with the most unusual move in the opening, a3. We're probably never going to see the likes of it again.
No, it's a very, very rare move, and it was getting quite interesting around the middle game, where white was clearly expanding on one area of the board. You can see those pawns, they're just going rah, 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 rah. They're coming down like a monster over there, trying to get some space. On the other hand, Wesley started to basically just control things on that area. And here, some of those pawns have been exchanged, and we now get the queens coming off. So the queens are eliminated. And the problem with this is that pawn that white just moved became very weak. And with the last move there, black opens the rook to attack it. So do we think Renato had any chances in that game?
Potentially, although he won a pawn at one stage. Here's the critical moment where we felt like he had some chances. If he was going to massage an advantage here, it was here. You know, he just had to perhaps do as you suggested, you know, just push the pawn one square forward and then introduce the rest of the pieces to follow through. But with no time on the clock, it's very difficult to do.
That's right, so that did look like one of the only chances that Renato had there. He did win a pawn, but it wasn't a very good extra pawn. It kind of became blockaded as it went up the board. Very smooth play from Wesley in general. It looked like he was in control most of the time. Okay, so So here we go.
And here we see the players, just a mad scramble on the clock, whilst the players are just generating time enough to think, and here it is, they couldn't quite manage it. Renato Terry loses on time and thus loses the match and drops down to the lower bracket.
Hey, hi guys.
Hey.
See you again, thanks.
And wow, and it's a pleasure to be joined here in the studio by match winner Wesley. So, Wesley,
Thank you guys.
how are you feeling after the time scramble?
Yeah, it wasn't easy at all. I mean, I almost lost on time, and the second game could have gone either way. I was very surprised by 8-3.
We were going to ask you about this move, this first move, A3. Have you ever faced that before?
Yeah, I think in the Speed Chess Championship.
Okay.
Some silly games like Shakri Armageddon played against me 8-3, and then I replied at some point H6, the first one. But I could never have predicted that Renato would play 8-3. He usually plays regular openings. But he got a game, actually. He got a very good position. I was surprised. I underestimated this C5, B5, and then it suddenly got slightly unpleasant for me.
And he did win a pawn later on, so there was, I mean, I guess you were just about blockading that, but it looked a bit risky at that stage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was happy to trade queens and get into the endgame. I mean, I didn't give up the pawn. I had no way to keep it.
Right, okay, yeah. Well, it's quick, it's fast. Don't top players always say they sacrifice? Yeah? Yeah, it was a sacrifice.
When we had no choice, huh?
Yeah, when they have no choice, it's a sacrifice.
Yeah, but I mean, the endgame should be defendable, but with very little time, it's not easy. But I was happy when I grabbed this pawns on H3 after. Maybe he didn't have to give up any of those. But yeah, I totally, probably 8-3 is also a good psychological move because it throws your opponent off balance. I thought I got decent position. Probably Queen E7 was a slight inaccuracy. I should maybe Knight E4. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's better. But yeah, it's tough. I mean,
have you ever played a format so quick like this, where you're just thrown in immediately in a studio setting, which is so bright and sort of magical?
No.
No.
This is the first time for sure, and it's a very exciting format. 2 games at the same time. There's no room at all for error, and you have to be very intense. And I think the second game made some slight mistakes, but this is definitely the fastest format I've ever been.
Yeah. And looking ahead, you'll be playing the winner of between Jose Martinez and Andrew Tang. What are your thoughts on both these players?
Oh, they're both excellent players. I played Martinez regularly online, and he's very good. I think he joined Webster for a while last year, and he's a speed specialist, and Andrew Tang also as well. I mean, Andrews basically grew up in Minnesota, I believe. So we had played a few games before in the past, and also we played in some tournaments. So it's going to be exciting. They're young, they're quick, and they're very capable for sure.
And a last question for you, Wesley. Obviously, it happens so quickly, these games. It's like bang, bang, bang. It is Armageddon. But how do you relax after it? Because you get so much time to relax. How are you going to relax now?
Watch the next match.
It's not relaxing.
It is for me. It is very relaxing when you're not not playing. When you're just watching. It's like you see everything. You see all the good moves. But sometimes I relax by playing chess or watching chess. Certainly, I think other top players, they go watch a movie afterwards. But watching more chess very relaxing.
Well, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, and again, very exciting and well done. Congratulations on winning that one, and you can go and relax by watching more chess now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely a fun tournament, and it's short, and yeah, fingers crossed for the next match.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we have to mention one of our partners. As a technology and digital privacy company, Kaspersky supports the secure advancement of chess in the digital space and its expansion into online tournaments. It's the perfect combination of human excellence and strong technology.
And we're back now to the next part of this Armageddon day. We just saw a very exciting match, and Wesley seeming pretty chilled out there. And I like that. He relaxes by doing more chess, watching us and watching the action here. I mean, hopefully everyone at home, you're enjoying this as well, and you're relaxing at the same time. I'm not sure it's that relaxing, personally. But here are the players in the next match, Ivanka, and Wesley was saying some very positive things about both of these players.
Yes, he was, and these players are known to be speed demons. They are, and especially Andrew Tang, he is like the god of speed. And both of these players are very young, 24 years old and 23 years old.
Yeah, and you may not have heard of much of Jose Martinez, and we can bring up his profile now. Incredibly talented player, and you will hear more of him. He's very well known in the online world for winning many events, many big events online. He was also a world champion. Anyone who can be a world champion in the under-18 section has immense capability to thrive going forwards. So he's a very strong player, but his opponent is also very strong, and his opponent is Andrew Tang. So we'll bring up some information about him.
Yeah, he's just 23 years old and he's so fast. He actually makes seconds look like a year. I mean, his specialty is on hyper bullet chess. He studies at Princeton and also a very popular chess streamer. You know, we've actually seen him in action. He's so quick with the hands. I would fancy his chances in Armageddon.
It's good to be quick with the hands in this one, especially when you're playing with the actual pieces. There's 51 seconds to go until the game starts, and two really young, talented players here. And I honestly don't know who I'm going to favour here. It really could go either way. I'm kind of thinking we need an Armageddon today, don't you?
We've had an Armageddon every single day.
We have.
So, you know, why break a winning routine? And it's now down to 26 seconds. We see the players, they're sitting there, they're getting ready. You can feel the anticipation in the air. The lights are blue, they are changing color. And I'm sure I would love to hear their heart rates. They must be like boom, 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 boom.
I mean, it'd be a bit worrying if you could hear your own heart rate. I mean, that would terrify me. Can I not hear my own heart rate?
Can you not hear your own heartbeat?
No, that would terrify me.
We go, guys. This is going to be exciting. It's Jose Martinez Alcantara versus Ray Robson. E4, E5, knight to F3. Knight c6, knight c3. We have the 4 knights coming up. Yes, knight f6 played. Let's see who's going to win. This very equal match, I would say. Very equal match. I would say a small favorite, definitely Ray Robson with all his experience. But you cannot discount Jose Martinez because he's such a talented youngster. And we have knight takes e4. Whoa, that's a very nice line. Actually, now you can play knight e4, queen e7. I think that's the move. Queen e7. Yes, that's theory. That's theory. And he's played his bishop up to d3. Okay. Okay, by the way, here we have the game as well. And he has played knight d4. And I think Jose Martinez is thinking here, right? What to do? I think castle is the best move. He castles, knight e6 back, rook e1 played. Okay, not a bad move. Not a bad move. Good opening for white. He has sacrificed a pawn d5. Very important move. Hitting the knight. He sacrificed a pawn, and these are some good openings for white in general in these games where you are playing Armageddon. You can sacrifice a pawn. Thank you, Chess Unblocked. Mukul says Jospem is the favorite. Let's see. Jospem, I am sure online is a very strong player, but over the board, let's see how well he does. Knight c3 attacks here, but what about c6? Just defending. I believe a better idea was knight to g5 here, but instead he goes knight to c3. Sorry, it's Andrew Tang. It's Andrew Tang here, not Ray Robson. My mistake. F4. I always keep making these silly errors. F4 played. I must say that in this, Andrew Tang and Jose Martinez are quite equal then. Both of them very equal in strength. In bullet chess, Andrew Tang is a favorite. G6 played, but when it comes to over the board, let's see who triumphs here. F4 with the idea of pushing F5. Well, white's strategy looks a bit mixed up, right? Because he's put his rook here, then he's pushed F4. He may have wanted his rook on the F file if you're playing F4, F5. But see that small little stare there. 50 seconds for Andrew Tang. He takes a lot of time in the opening, and he's playing Armageddon, but he's just thought for more than 2 minutes in just 11 moves. Why is he thinking so much? He must play quickly. Play. Andrew Tang, 30 seconds. Play fast. He plays F5. Good move. G6. No, what was white's move, by the way? Jose Martinez. What did he do? That is the question after G6. He played King H1. And then came F5. Okay, nice. 26 seconds. Now, I believe Martinez will go all out. Guys, find a move that is going all out. Malab, completely going all out. What do? Yes, G4. That was the move that I wanted to suggest. If you take F5, that's how it is. Yes, Nishkit Mahale. Very good. Bishop G7. Oh, that's a very calm move. Because now GF, Bishop F5. Can we take the pawn? Because after short castle, you can bring your queen in. And then there's a lot of pressure here. Ooh, that will get very sharp. And he has more time. He has 1 minute 30 seconds. Bishop F5. I don't think Andrew Tang can calculate everything here. Either Queen G4 or Queen H5. Let's get the queen in. And put pressure here. Shritish Rathod. Yes, only 17 seconds. Queen G4. Good move. Under pressure. Now he must sack an exchange, but he has only 10 seconds to work this out. No, he goes Rook F6. That's the problem when you have low time. But it's a decent move. He's defended it and he's asking his opponent, what's your plan here? Maybe he should go and pin this. That could be an idea. Andrew Tang has actually 13 seconds left, but you can see that Martinez is also bleeding on time. He's down to 49, 48, 47 seconds. He brings his bishop back with the idea of playing F5, but Queen F7 quickly played. Andrew Tang is so well prepared for his moves. Now also this pawn could be hanging. And there's a disco coming up. This is not a good position now. Queen H4. He's played his rook to H6. Queen G3. And Knight C5. Excellent chess. Getting rid of this. Opening up your bishop here. F5 played. But then Knight D3. Can't you just take it? Oh, he goes rook F6. He wanted to. This was hanging. Bishop comes to G5. He plays knight takes d3 and now cd3, important move. Because if you take on f6, there is knight e1 hanging. And also remember cd3, the point is cd3, rook f5, bishop h6, some pin stuff here with the rook coming in here and here. Wow, that can get very nasty. 7 seconds, takes on d3, rook f5. Now can he find bishop h6? That's the only move to remain in the game. No, rook e7, that's a blunder. Rook f1 check has to be found. No, he goes queen g6, blunder, counter blunder. Rook g1, good move, white is winning. Rook f7, check, rook here, and rook e7, bishop to f5. Maybe black fought back. Queen, where did he place bishop f4 takes? What? He traded. No, no, this is lost. This is completely lost. Now this is gone. Guys, black is completely winning now. Andrew Tang has it under control. I don't see this in any way going back in white's favor. And look at the calmness with which he's making his moves. Yeah, this is amazing. Oh, he's fighting for the c4 square. That's good. But, you know, losing that one pawn is not a good idea. h3. You know, Jose Martinez had a great opportunity there to win, but he missed it. Check king here. Rook to c2. Only 2 seconds. My god, he has to speed up. a3. Knight a3, rook b2. Oh, if he had taken with the pawn, I think something like rook c3 would have come perhaps. Ah, the a pawn is queening. h5, but a2 wins. Yeah, a2 wins. a1 queen is coming up. If you go rook g1, rook b1 is coming. Andrew Tang wins, and Jose Martinez has to now must win in the next game to stay back in the match. And let's go back to our commentators in Berlin and see what they have to say about this game.
10 seconds left defending this ferocious attack from Jose. He just kept his cool, and then he won a pawn, and he converted that extra pawn in the ending into a win. And that was just impressive.
It was magnificent stuff. Yeah. And there we can see it was a surprise opening from Andrew Tang, you know, taking a pawn with a knight so early on in the game. And the queen comes out to pin the knight, and well, it was such an offbeat opening from both sides. I like the way that they handled the position, but I have to say I was very impressed with how chill Andrew was to take like a 1 minute pause and try to navigate all the complications.
He did, and we saw around this stage that black has the extra pawn and many pieces are getting exchanged. This is what you want to do when you have more material, more points on the board. You want to exchange pieces off, because then your pawn becomes more important, it becomes more powerful, because it comes into sort of a light of its own. Here I am, the little strong pawn, and we get right into the ending here. The black rook now checking the king. Look at that black rook. It's so active. Keep your pieces active at the end part, and there was a number of good moves here, and this was actually a very clever idea, because he gets this pawn on the side, and that pawn on the side wins the game, Ivanka.
Yeah, and there it went a-rolling. Very impressive victory from Andrew Tang. And here we're going to see the closing moments where Jose attacks the bishop, but Andrew doesn't care. He is going for gold, going for broke by establishing a new queen on the board.
So if we want to see Armageddon, then Jose has got to win the next game, but he has the disadvantage of having the black pieces. The countdown has started. Can he come back in black there?
He's going to have to. Back in black, yeah, I noticed that. Or yeah. Back to black. That's my favorite song as well. And the clock is ticking down. 40 seconds. The players are seated. They are ready to get going. They're ready to rumble and start moving those pieces as quickly as they possibly can.
I think there's always a chance against Andrew, because Andrew does at some point, it seems, tank a lot of time. So if you keep the pressure on him, then I think you'll get a chance. And that's what Jose needs to do in this game. He's got to win. He can't play safe chess. He's got to just keep a time advantage, keep pressing Andrew. Andrew, let's remember, only needs a draw. If white draws or wins, he's through to the next round. If we want Armageddon, we need black to win this game. They are off.
Yeah, and we're expecting Andrew to open.
Have begun, and this time it's the Nimzo Indian that we have on the board. Must win for the player with the black pieces. Jose Martinez. Andrew Tang just needs a draw. This is going to be very, very exciting. Let's see if Martinez manages to make a comeback. And he plays his knight to d7. Let's have our board where we can analyze this. Yes, there we go. So the opening started with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, the Nimzo Indian, bishop d2, castles, e3, d5, knight to f3, knight b d7, bishop comes out to d3, a6, cd5 just played, ed5 recaptures, and interesting position here for white. I think good opening choice when you are okay with the draw. Rook e8. The rook comes into the center. Okay, now if white can somehow manage to get knight e5 and f4, that's what he's looking, but it's not so easy to execute that. What has he played? He's played his rook to c1. Very natural move. Bishop goes back to d6. Now a good spot for the bishop. I actually like this opening for black because you know, you can go c6, you can put your knight to f8 to g6, you can bring your bishop out here. There's a lot of juice in the position. Let's see what Andrew Tang does. He plays his queen up to c2 and Jose Martinez goes c6. That's a very standard move, and I believe his idea is to next go knight f8, knight g6. Programming Hub says, hello Sagar, damn excited for the Saturday tournament. Yes, the chess results link is out. And you can, I think you would have gotten an email perhaps. We have the entries filled up. Sama is playing, Vaibhav's playing. It's a great tournament. We have Aditya Mittal, India's just recent GM, and also Mumbai's second GM. We have few IMs playing. It's going to be a huge tournament. Huge. Maza aega. Maza. Okay, knight e4. What did he do? Knight g3? Did he play knight g3 already? Yes, he did. And the other knight came up. And he's played bishop e1. Oof, what is that move? Bishop e1. He just wanted to get this out and maybe play his knight to d2. But it looks very passive. Looks very passive. Queen e7. a3, and now h5, h5, queen b3, and now a5. Nachimutu Mani, we have 1 year anniversary tournament of the ChessBase India Chess Club in Phoenix Market City on this Saturday at 12:30 p.m. onwards. a5 played. And the queen goes back to c2 and now g6 played. Andrew Tang once again low on time. Jose Martinez's position looking good. Everything looking great. White has now gone down to 47 seconds. The heart rate of black is very stable at 86. 92 played. Chess Unblocked says white seems unsure. I agree. He seems unsure also in a you know, when you have to draw the game, you are often a bit worried as to how to play. Bishop f5 could be a good move. I think this is a good idea, just putting the bishop here. Now Martinez is down to 1 minute 46 seconds. Thinking. Bishop to g4. Interesting. And the knight comes back to d2. Can we just take? No, he goes back, bishop f5. Good move. Well, the idea is to push now. Push h4, h3, soften up the king side. If you go f3, by the way, that's not a good idea, because then this pawn becomes weak, and let's say something like knight c3 would be a very nice discovered attack. But oh, he took on e4. My god, takes here, bishop c4, and boom, check. If you take, there is knight g4 and queen h4 with a mating attack. So he goes king h1, but this is over. It's over, guys. Bishop d6. Bishop comes back. Did he go g3 already? Look at Martinez's stare there. Oh, king h1. Bishop comes back. Now this is just totally winning position for black. g3. h4. Opening up. Knight to f4. One minute. g5. He's pushed the pawn there. The knight has to move back. No, this is over, guys. This is over. There's nothing much left here. The bishop can come from g4 to f3. Settle down on the light squares. Yes, bishop g4. Knight to g1. Oh my god. King g7. The king to g2. Maybe rook h8. Rook h8. Yes, he plays rook h8. f4. That is desperation. Now you take en passant. You just take it. Yes. Takes en passant. Knight comes up. Take bishop. I mean, take hg3. Just rook entering on h2. Andrew Tang may want to resign this game, because next move, check here, and then this is hanging. Yes, he takes on g5. Check. Resigns. 1-1. We are going into the Armageddon. Wow. What a fight back by Jose Martinez. That's going to be exciting now. Let's go back to our commentators in Berlin and see what they have to say about this fight back.
1 point apiece, which means it's gonna get dirty. It's gonna be Armageddon. I don't know why I put on a weird accent, but I did.
I thought it was a cool accent.
Okay.
Very nice. Can we have more of that accent, please?
Alrighty. Okay, and here we see a critical moment. Here it is, pushing the h-pawn up the board. Just imbalancing, disturbing Andrew Tang's coordination there on the right side.
Yeah, that was a great move, that one. And the whole game was kind of perfectly played by Jose. And it's really impressive to come back from being a point down with the black pieces and playing so well and so calmly. And here, Jovanka very sharply spotted the idea that we're going to see black play. He first of all captures that knight, but it's the next move which is the brilliant move. And look at this move, and look at the look he gave him. The look was like, yeah, baby. It's like, I'm coming for you here. Look at this. Brilliant. Oh, so calm as well. We
even got it in slow motion as well. I mean, key moment in the game.
Oh, I gotcha. That's what that look says. That look basically says, yeah, I've gotcha. And that was a brilliant move, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We call that tactic the Greek gift, that kind of move with the bishop. It has a term. And after that, White was in all sorts of problems here, Jovanka.
Yeah.
And you could see the end of the game is coming up here. The white king, it just doesn't have enough pieces around it or enough pawns around it. The black rook will shortly come in, and there's just nothing here that Andrew can do. Really, really tough position. The knight grabs the pawn, and the last move, there it is, a horrible check. That rook attacking the king, and there's nothing there that white can do in that position. So a great comeback there from Jose, and we're now to the Armageddon stage.
We are, and I have to tell everyone, fasten your seatbelts because things are gonna get bumpy. I can't wait for this one. And Andrew, I think, will have the black pieces, which means he'll have 4 minutes and gets draw odds. Jose Martinez will have the white pieces, which means
guys, whom are you supporting? Andrew Tang or Jose Martinez?
In order.
Let us know in the comments. Let's know in the chat, guys. Who are you supporting? 28 seconds left. I'm very excited because these two youngsters can play really fast.
Armageddon sign. I always get excited when I see that for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it's an all-in situation. Other things to bear in mind.
Renato
every game we've seen so far
I
today,
am supporting Jospem.
Moves you make. There's no more extra time. We call it.
Okay, let's go here. 8 seconds left.
Situation. So the clock becomes.
Thank you, Simon and Jovanka. It's time to go into the game, and off we go. Are they going to play the same opening as their first game? Seems like it. Seems like they're going there. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, knight C3, knight F6, D4, takes, knight E4. This is a piece sacrifice, but you instantly get it back. Bishop D3, takes, castles, knight E6. This is what they played in game number 1 as well. And then I believe he had played rook E1 here. This time seems like he has some improvement up his sleeve. And so he goes knight to c3, and I think the knight d5 is threatened, but Martinez has to win with the white pieces. Andrew Tang just needs a draw. Andrew Tang known for having long things even in such games, but in Armageddon there is no increment. In our chat we definitely have more Martinez fans than Andrew Tang fans. c6 played. And now Martinez, did he go f4 or what? Yes, he did. F4 and f5 stopping, and then a shake of his head saying that yes, I approve of this move. It was important because he was threatening f5. Now generally, black should not be doing well with such a position where he's not developed his pieces. But on the upside, he has an extra pawn and he can go g6, bishop g7, castles, king h1. Very useful move to make. Maybe we'll see something like the last time, like g4, f5. Very aggressive position. What did he do? What did he play? I can't see the move. Maybe he went d5. Maybe he went g6. I don't know. Maybe he went queen f7. What was the move? Oh, he played g6 and we had g4 on the board. Martinez is very aggressive. Queen f7. Okay. Good move. I think he went knight e2. Pushes his pawn to d5. Now pawn takes, knight g3. Knight comes to c5. Good square for the knight. You can take the bishop or you can put here. Also your f5 pawn is defended. Bishop e2. Oh, he wants to just win the queen. Oh, that will be brutal. That will be brutal. What a move, bishop e2. You want to just win the queen. Knight e4, bishop h5, game over. Oh, king d2. Actually, rook g8 with the idea of giving up an exchange was also possible, and I think would have been a good idea. He goes king d8, and now c4, just opening up the position was interesting, but he goes bishop e3, which is also fine. Okay, he's brought his bishop out to e6. $110 heart rate for Jose Martinez, 113 for Andrew Tang. Okay, let's see where Jose plays this. He has a good solid time edge, 3 minutes 15 seconds, but he should move quickly. I think it's important here not to spend too much time, but of course he should make use of that 1 minute, because I think it's very useful to have white pieces here. b4. Yes, chess unblocked, you're right. b4 is a good move. Knight d7, and now he can push forward with b5. But if you play b5, maybe there is c5. So perhaps wait a bit. Maybe you can. a4 was an idea. He goes rook b1, defending this pawn. Yeah, a4, maybe he would have lost the pawn bishop b4. So he plays rook b1 first, defending this, maybe creating ideas of a4 b5. And now he played bishop g7, queen d2, rook g8, bishop h5, queen e7. And what's the move? Queen d3 played. Queen d3, rook f8, a4, queen d6, c3. The king comes up. The position is very, very even right now. Anything can happen. It's so complicated in such an Armageddon game, but I prefer white's chances because the black king is too weak, and you can see already the king is in trouble. Maybe the move c4 does make sense here. Rook d1 first played with the idea of c4, because I think he was worried that if you play c4, there is d4, but then there is c5, and just completely ripping apart the position. But okay, he went rook fd1, and I think he played b5. Oh, and now can we go c4? That seems like a great move. Jose Martinez has to find it both at 133. Wow, the heart rates of both the players going up, because clearly it's a very stressful last few minutes left. And he plays c4. Good move. He takes with the queen, because if you take here, I can go and chop your queen off. Great play by Jose. Now just come back. Queen d3. Yeah, queen d3 back. King c7. Andrew Tang plays king c7. Knight e2. The knight is going now to d4 perhaps. Rook b8, rook c1. Oh, but now you can just take this pawn. Yes, he takes it. Black back in the game. Andrew Tang back in the game. He plays bishop d4. Rook takes, rook takes. Bishop f8. And he sacrifices an exchange. Rook b6 takes. Bishop e. Oh, it was a queen is gone. Queen is gone. He missed this move. I don't know. Maybe the knight was protecting here. But or maybe he did not. He's happy with this position. Giving up the queen. Knight d4. Bishop d7. He takes on f5. Takes on f4. What a position it is. The engine evaluates it as equal. But anything can happen. If it was knight d4. Bishop f4, knight d4. Bishop e5. And now let's just focus on the board, because we are not able to get the moves, I guess. He's got his knight back to d3, bishop f5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5. I like black's position here. Black has a very nice bishop h3, bishop f5, check. Now it's all about time. I think check. Ooh, queen a2, check, rook e3. Who will win? Oh, h pawn going down, c pawn going down the board. What? No, the pawn is on c2. He says pawn is on c3. No, pawn is on c2. He says pawn is on c3. No. But the move's being recorded. I'm not sure, he says. Let's listen to the commentators, what they have to say.
Far forwards. It's Armageddon. This happens all the time. It happened for decades and decades at the top level, this kind of chess where you've got no increment. I've seen so many arguments occur. So the arbiter has had to step in to try and work out what the position actually was. I have no idea. I don't know, because everything was going too quick for my simple eyes.
Yeah.
What do we think? And this is going to decide who wins this game. Because if that pawn was on the right square, I think it's going to be...
no, it wasn't c2.
Well, it was about to queen, so surely Andrew will win this. But if Jose was correct in thinking that he played what we call an illegal move, pushing the pawn, not on purpose, of course, but by accident, then it's going to be Jose who wins. Woof.
And we can see the action now. How quickly did that pawn advance? Okay, so what went to h4?
Check.
There, the king moves.
It went
c3.
A check, yeah.
No, it's
C2.
okay. Andrew has not. He has not done the wrong move. He has not. No, that pawn did go correctly up the board. It did not go 2 squares up the board. It was very clear there. Just call me arbiter, the ginger arbiter, if you want, whatever you want. I think that game, it's looking like Andrew is going to get the verdict there. This is like what you get in football, the VAR. You know, was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? I mean, I think that was quite clear, Ivanka, wasn't it?
It was very clear. There was nothing wrong. Okay, the players were playing super fast, so it's very understandable. But
now with the wrong claim,
we see.
We say the arbiter, Ivanka, it's like the referee, isn't it? So there is like a referee on standby, and the rules are that the players can't stop the clock, you know? I mean, they can stop the clock, but the referee cannot get involved until the players have stopped the clock. So we saw this happen in a game earlier on between Dominguez and Andrew Tang. And people were saying, well, why didn't the arbiter get involved? Well, I believe, and I'm not an expert, even though I claim to be sometimes in arbitering, I believe that the arbiter can't get involved until one of the players stops the clock and calls the arbiter over. That's my belief. That is exactly what Jose's done here. So the right process has been done, and the arbiter is now, I assume, checking what on earth is happening. I would not like to be in the referee's decision now. I mean, they say that if you're a chess player, maybe like football, you want to be the actual player. If you can't be the player, the next best thing is obviously commentating. If you can't be a commentator, you want to be a coach, and then maybe an arbiter. Poor old arbiters. Did I just make that up? Yeah, I did.
You don't hold them in high esteem. No, but I mean, here the great thing is that we have it all recorded.
Yeah.
So the arbiter can simply consult the footage,
I mean,
and we can see it super clearly that nothing untoward has happened. And just to go through it once more, here we can see the big sequence of moves. So a few checks have been delivered, and now here the pawn race has been initiated. And here we can see check.
Amazing.
King must move.
Amazing.
Pawn starts running.
If anything, white's pawns are much less clear than black's pawns. And look, that pawn was correct. And here we see that there was nothing wrong played there. And I think Jose just got a little bit confused because it was so quick, it was so fast, but it's clear that no dodgy moves have been there.
Both players lost 1
no
second
kid like
in all
dreams,
of this.
oh, I want to be a referee when I'm an adult.
You're wrong.
No, they don't.
You're wrong.
Don't tell.
I actually
so, hang a minute. So a kid when he's growing up would be like, I don't want to be a Premiership footballer, I'd rather be a referee.
You're wrong. There's so many people who want to be like, I want to, and there we see.
We have a result.
Martinez
I think we have
resigns.
a result. Okay, it looks to my eyes
because
like the game
Andrew
has
Tang
gone
would get extra
in
time
Andrew's favour,
and also was winning clearly.
And he's agreed. I think that Tang has won. That was the
So
right
it's
decision. Really
now
good
Wesley So
sportsmanship
versus
there
Andrew Tang,
from
who are undefeated.
Jose, because he could have been so upset, and we have Andrew going through.
Yeah. Oh, What a great end, actually, to an exciting day. Armageddon is what we want. It's, you know, taking chess back to the streets. I love it, you know.
It's like street chess, isn't it?
It's a street fight. It's a brawl. Anything can happen. We get all the emotion, right?
But it's a competition. I mean, remember this form of chess with our increment. It was the most common form for most of chess history. Nearly all the world championships they played without increment. We had these blitz finishes happen all the time, and it is Armageddon. What happens in most tournaments anyway. So it's great to see it over the board. And you can see some highlights of the game here. This was earlier on it looked to my eyes like White was doing very, very well, but I just didn't realize what a great defender Andrew was.
He really played resourcefully, a lot of grit and great time management. And we can see here, when things got very tricky, he took those right decisions. And even though he lost his queen, and I use the word lost in inverted commas, you know, he's just, again, using all his pieces to create maximum chances and do what needs to be done.
Yeah, it's so exciting here, and they got down to that crazy blitz finish. And we remember Andrew's had a couple of these so far in this tournament. He had one against Dominguez, he had one here, and he's won twice in Armageddon. And the queen now comes in, and this was the end of the game. You can see both sides were pushing their pawns. To be fair, it was Black who had the winning position here, and Black only needed a draw, and you can see there was a bit of confusion, understandably there, and the arbiter made a great decision. The referee did a good job. Well, we've got now, and I'm really looking forward to this, an interview with Fiona, and I believe the loser. So, wow, what's gonna go on here?
Well, we'll find out.
Jose, a crazy match against Andrew. It went to the Armageddon. I'm not sure if all the viewers at home already know what actually happened, so maybe can you just explain what happened in the end?
Oh yeah, I was just playing fast because I get in time trouble, so I didn't see the pawn. I trust like the pawn was on c3 because I just make checks, and I saw the pawn was not too close to pawn to convert the queen, so I just see when I play queen c8 what because if I see the pawn on c2 I will not make a queen c8, I will make another move, like maybe a check, and maybe I don't have a check, but I will make another move. So yeah, so I was surprised in that moment because I was just looking one sector of the board, so I forget the another sector. Yeah,
it's the most dramatic finish I believe that we've had so far. What are your emotions after this Armageddon game?
Yeah, like always disappointing. Yeah, I think I was winning the last game. If I'm not correct, I can have advantage at first, and the second was relatively quite easy win. So if I just don't collapse, maybe I will win this match. But yeah, that is chess. That is why I'm not professional, because yeah, professionals win that kind of matches like Wesley, and I don't know.
Let me ask you about one final moment in game 2. You played this nice bishop takes h2 check, and we saw you stare at Andrew on the camera. How important do you think psychology is in this format?
Yeah, I think that bishop h2 moment was easy to spot, but he was playing so shy. He plays a shy game, so he needs a draw, but he plays a shy game. So I expect more solid opening. Then he just was playing passive moves, and then I just put my pieces where I want, and I did the classical Greek sacrifice. So it was a quite easy tactic, and yeah, I think no psychology in that move. Just spot the good move and finish the game, I think. Yeah.
Well, commiserations, but the tournament is not over for now. Back to the studio to Jovanka and Simon.
Well, I'm really happy to see that Jose was smiling there, and everything's played in great spirits, but we have the winner, Andrew, and you seem so relaxed. Are you that relaxed?
That one actually, I think, got my heart rate probably pretty high for once. Yeah. As just after game 2, I needed to recover, but like, my king was in the middle of the board the whole game, so
yeah,
very stressful.
we were incredibly stressed just watching it, and I can only imagine. I mean, like, look at the end here. You can see the replay we have.
Oh yeah.
We were looking at who was moving quicker, and you're both moving. So, I mean, you've got the reputation of being the quickest guy around, but Jose's quick as well, right?
He is, yeah.
So, I mean, look at the pawns going up the board, and both your pawns are sort of just, it's very unclear, and we see the end here where you're about to queen, obviously winning the game quite easily, and Jose just not sure, so he calls the arbiter. But you've had 2 of these now. I mean, what about the one with Dominguez? I mean, that was crazy as well, right?
Yeah, I think that was really good practice, honestly. I started to play faster earlier this game, so I could be not down too much in the time scramble, but
yeah, it was good.
And did you do any specific preparation for this tournament? Because it is something completely different.
Yeah, I played a little blitz over the board, but mostly I just did a little opening preparation, played blitz online, but it's always good, I think, to play over the board a bit to get the feel back before a tournament like this.
Yeah. It's very hard to prepare for something like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is, did you see this when Martinez played this bishop takes h2?
Yeah, I completely missed it.
Yeah, but look at his eye contact there. Did you spot the eye contact?
I didn't. I was too focused on
the position.
And what were you feeling after that game?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. I managed to calm down pretty well. Somehow I knew I was losing a lot earlier, so I guess I dragged it out a little bit to just give myself some time to recover, and it worked.
So do you have any tactics of calming down? Because I could really do with some. Because I cannot. You seem so calm.
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
I don't know. Well, naturally, I guess I am a calm person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just try to clear my mind, but I don't have anything special.
Just innate talent.
I need that special powder or whatever it is, special. Okay.
And looking ahead, you're going to be facing Wesley So. So how are you feeling about that matchup?
Obviously, it's going to be very difficult. He's probably the clear favorite in this tournament, I would say. And well, I do know him pretty well because we're both from Minnesota originally. And I even played some practice blitz games against him the last few days, so.
But if you're going to say you're slightly better in something, what would it be?
I mean, it has to be my speed, I guess.
Okay.
But, yeah. I'll try to get it down to Armageddon again. Maybe I can.
Well, you've heard it here first. Andrew's going to take it down to Armageddon for the 3rd time. You are now the king of Armageddon at the moment, clearly. And thank you so much for coming along. And we're getting near the end now. But it's been so exciting so far.
Thank you very much, and good luck in the.
We'd now like to bring in the official partner of this tournament, and that is IT.com, which is a domain registry like no other. It provides a platform for anyone to try and create their very interesting ideas, a new winning website that could make you a millionaire. So go and check it out, IT.com. And every day here seems to get a little bit more exciting. And we can see that we have some really good games lined up as well, Jovanka.
Yeah, we do. We have Jose Martinez against Sam Shankland and Lenia Dominguez against Renato Terry in the lower bracket. So if anyone loses tomorrow, they will get knocked out of the competition.
Yeah, so we'll see that, and those knockout days are incredibly interesting. But Andrew Tang, I mean, wow, I'm very admirable of how he keeps it so calm when we're losing the plot here, and he's just like, yeah, well, I'm just Mr. Cool, man. But thank you very much, and Jovanka, it's time for us to go. So cheers, everyone, and make sure you come back for tomorrow and the action then. It's going to be great. going to be brilliant.